Hi, this is Joel from West Thurston Fire. Most of you know me, but for those that don't, new recruits or anybody coming on board, I'm the safety officer for West Thurston. We have been kind of in lockdown for the past couple of months due to the recent COVID outbreak, so we have not been able to do safety meetings and things of that nature. So we opted to do kind of a video presentation for the month of June at the end of the second quarter for 2020. And one of the topics that we're going to talk about is we try to historically look at things in the past that ongoing injuries that we have that every year occur. And so one of the things that we have that is pretty predominant in the last couple of years is this time of year we start having people that come off apparatus, twist an ankle, hurt a knee, ankle injuries, knee injuries, things of that nature. So some of this is going to be elementary to most of you, some of it is not, but it's always a good thing to kind of review it and talk about some things. So we're going to talk about three major things. One is we're going to talk about 3 points of contact. Again, a majority of you are familiar with that, but we're going to demonstrate that for purposes of the video. The other thing we're going to talk about is, along with the 3 points of contact, basically being aware of your surroundings before you jump off that rig or before you dismount or remount that apparatus, and maintenance of that vehicle that you're currently on. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is basically PPE, primarily the boots that you're wearing, shoes that you're wearing, and stuff that can help with some of those injuries. So first thing, 3 points of contact. Just about any industry that revolves around being on any type of apparatus, or whether it be rigs, they maintain this. This is a national standard with OSHA, and so it's something that we have adopted, but we don't talk about it very much. So maintain 3 points of contact. You have 4 points of contact on your body, both hands, both feet. 3 points of contact. The concept is that you always have 3 points that are in contact with the rigs at all times. We're in front of Engine 17 right now. One way to demonstrate that is before we kind of demonstrate the 3 points of contact. The other thing that we're going to talk about is the apparatus itself, which is kind of the second area that we're going to kind of go into this as well. You have numerous handholds on these apparatus. There's one up there, one here, one here. You always have your foot plates and everything else. One thing that you want to refrain from is sometimes you have people that want to get creative on how they're going to get up in there. If it's not an actual set handhold, it's probably not the best thing to be either grabbing. If it's not a set foothold, it's probably not the best thing. So you're not going to come over and try and step off the rim of the tire to step in there. 3 points of contact, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 points at this time on that rig. And that allows you to basically have 1 point that's going to be off. That allows your stability to maintain. It also allows you so that if you do slip, if one of your foot or one of your hands does slip at 2 points, you still are maintaining 2 in order to try and recorrect that or keep yourself from going down. So when mounting an apparatus, obviously we're going to look at these, and this becomes muscle memory over time. So it's not, again, this is not a new concept. This is pretty elementary to most, but we're going to review it for the sake of it. Recognize your handholds. We're going to step up. You want to make sure that your foot placement and that also the areas that you're going to be stepping on are free of debris. You don't have helmets in the way. You don't have bunker gear in the way. Rocks, snow in the case of winter. So we're going to be watching for that. So 1, 2, step up. You can put both feet on this ground, and you can grab another one, and it allows you to let go, and you're still maintaining 3 points at all time. And remain seated in the vehicle. Obviously, to get out, it's going to be the same thing. Now, when we're dismounting rigs, and in the years past, this is where people get injured. And the reason why they get injured is a whole host of reasons. One is when reading the accident complaints, what happens is people are stepping from the rig, and that's when the injury occurs, is from the apparatus to the ground placement. So the second part of this, first we talked about 3 points. The second part was awareness of the ground. You want to look at your landing zones or your landing pads, wherever you're going to be putting your feet down. This type of year, part of the reason, the contributing factor to the reasons why we get a lot of accident reports is because with this time of year, we have a lot of vegetation growth. So we can't see exactly if that ground is level. Of the 6 complaints that we got in 2019 for rolled ankles, hurt knees for stepping off of rigs, There was probably more than half of them were people that stepped on uneven ground or they stepped in a hole that they did not see. So very good to maintain sight. Take a look and see what you're going to be stepping on, and then of course your 3 points of contact. So again, we have 1, 2, I've got 4 right here. It allows you to put 1 step down, make sure and look for the area of clear of debris, step down, and dismount your apparatus. We briefly talked about, again, taking a look at the ground. Not so much of a problem in the wintertime or the late fall because the vegetation isn't really as high, but we also have to be concerned for ice at that time of year. The last part that we need to talk about is your PPE. Anytime that we have set standards, safety standards, as well as uniform standards as far as what we are going to be wearing when we're doing operations, whether it be fire attack, whether it be wildland fire attack, or just general working around the station. The biggest thing that you want to keep in mind, the biggest thing that's going to help you with rolling your ankle is, one is that awareness. The second part of that is going to be your boots. NFPA really likes to see the high ankle boots, and the reason why is that is going to protect your ankle. So in the case that you step off and you do hit a hole, that side of that boot is going to keep your ankle from fully rolling over. I experienced an ankle injury a couple of years ago. I can tell you right now that once you roll your ankle and there's significant tendon or damage, it is incredibly easy to do it again for a very long period of time. So make sure and keep your ankles protected. Make sure you're wearing the correct boots. I have this one unzipped just to show you. So this boot is unzipped. If I go like that, it doesn't provide any protection whatsoever for my ankle. It's just going to be able to roll over, other than protecting my foot in and of itself. You don't have bunker boots that are well fitting, you need to talk to our uniform personnel and change that up. The other thing that we have in this presentation that we talk about that's going to help with the falls and accidents is maintenance of the rig. So if you see an apparatus or an engine with a handlebar where the screws are coming loose, if you open up the rig and for some reason one of the handholds is not there, if you have loose handholds here, if you have sheet metal or diamond plating that's coming off, that needs to be given in a form of a work order immediately so we can address those and get those taken care of. Wildfire season is here. It is going to be historically now in the last couple of years, it's been a very big part of West Thurston. It's always been a big part of West Thurston, but it's becoming increasingly more dangerous. We are now in brush fire season. Wildfire season approaching us. Every year it seems like we get just a little bit busier than the years past. We also have more personnel, and we also have newer, well-designed brush trucks and heavier fire loads. So there are going to be times when we're coming off the back of brush trucks, there's going to be times when speed is of the essence. And so a lot of times we tend to forget a lot of these safety things that can really prevent accidents. The 3 points of contact, the footing that you're currently wearing, as well as the vehicle and your awareness of the uneven ground and the uneven terrain that we deal with. So I hope this video was good. I'm wishing everybody a really safe wildfire season. Again, if anybody does have an accident that occurs or an injury, you come off a rig, you roll your ankle, you think you're okay, I still would like to hear about it. You can fill out an accident report. If something happens down the road, I referenced my ankle injury earlier in the video. It was something that didn't become a serious problem until months down the road. So make sure and log it if something does happen to you so we have record of that. I hope we get through a season where none of that occurs, and wishing you guys, everybody, be safe, and thank you for your time.